hwe Nana Yaa Jantuah presidential staffer also no na ninje prison ho na mum ensem na ekoso chairman Wontumi jail term na de NPP for na ankasa no mudi for baby Nana Akim Oda member of parliament ekwesi akwa show no so ono na echire mu say his excellency John Dramani Mahama asana mamu we no woyɛ selective justice chairman Wontumi ye MPP ni ya pekwa bia afa so e de illegal mining case e de na ko share fiase. What about NDC for na ankasa na his excellency baju tu mu say ebinim ye galamsey no e de na o ma ya afa ho na ne Nana Yaa Jantuah show no so wan twe ama no kra buziafo na owie ya ana mediko PM Joy Prime ana Mustapha Gbande deputy general secretary of the NDC also share science seminar ekoso chairman Wontumi 20-year jail term ni na MPP for na ni age papa na MPP for be na waka o masemi abusiafo me the shocking exposing details on Ebrem right here on Sokatoa show until me patch time kuchu men ko ba na subscribe we are not turn on notification icon video no drop here won sabeka. Feel free to leave your comment in the comment section or share link na ma for fro enye bi ahwe little flower green clean solution center you go so yeto ensa fro say me sraw opese obi be siesie ofie ho no me clean o ma ho ye kama wo office wo church bank institution dia me ha ho for numbers na go screen so what kakra bi na bejo na be twad madu ni yopo e de ama wo ye chiri kwan ewo ejeso ufra kra na obaku masia ejeso traffic light no try apɛ won say for sabro set us 1 2 ase ope won say be kan do free kumasa na akwa akra be won say be kum so won say e be kan vending natural backups about to menstrual pains and abdominal pains ase me pa chow Otemenka we yen tentem no wate ne kotobi ne ebe sisi wa himfie ho ama ahoye kama oni pains to nkwanta mo be pai first insert Akim Oda member of parliament honorable Kwesi Akwa any presidential staffer Nana Yaa Jantuah mo de ko boom United Television chairman Wontumi 20-year jail term ne ho nsem eni
2 minutes
obi ehu say ase abai wo ye selective justice woni bi say da me ba ko galamsey ntokwa MCE sir one more my receipt say wakoye mine in galamsey into my receipt or they are buying receipt and the facilitating galamsey Wontumi yes we facilitating galamsey and wako them 20 years there we are patch that say we are in this ni na sasa ni bitu na ye go evidence wa dance here e don dey ye nchew but so your party the bd a ye be chew we na special prosecutor hu hia esa say police say attorney general
okay no
say police say attorney general obetu sa e wo bibi so no e yo no ane pe ba baby to say special prosecutor obetimi a petition na ono ankasa ahwehwe bibi say mo and next special prosecutor is na ya che no ejina ho say o kwa do be prosecutor pa beji to me fi ensem
okay
that is why we needed the independence of the special prosecutor because nipa wo mo ye galamsey na ye wo evidence no agi ye de to ho and bia ya ban ba de de akọkire say emra na edidi Wontumi no nipa bi say bi nso no ebi edi wom edi afa mo fa bra kwa so ye de sa chichire man ye be yi abda ye de sa chichire man ye be yi because enne ye galamsey enu a ye galamsey ochina ye be galamsey a ye say ye nsase ye say yesuo ye say ya bodie na ebi nso tu de jiom sika eti man pani ka say wonim say the nkrofo ye galamsey with all the state investigative apparatus aden na man pani ntimi nchi ni nipa baako o me nchi ni nipa baako na ye hu say o dey set example
okay
uye no to nche ya wo mu a ye susu mpo ni achi wo mu a o me NDC executives no ye nte ho hwe MNDCs ayaka Joy FM my documentary we have received evidence obi anka ho hwe eti ye say Wontumi a political prisoner boni na waye no akọ court judge agina so bunu for no ubo se sa boni no ayira esan san komodi a ekoso yina no it is a buying person ye hu se we no e boni e na waye every day na tumu a enye na we hwe se wo mo a yakaka ka we yina no aban so ntumu na mo
okay with us
amem na me badness abraham se
yanko he GCD concessions. Me point out.
Honorable GCD concessions. Contradicting who be blaming person mekanina or say minority akasa has to be expected. The minority no we are dying on bekasa. Say you nukuru Moses because kasa has to be expected that. Let's just say you grammar. What am I saying? Sana say has to be expected. Say you on bekasa. Ayo momodu to prandi. Number 2, or say bonia Wontumi ye no. Say why you are convicting one kasa. It means you are bonu. He's not totally innocent. From your own words. O say bonia Wontumi ye no. Number 2, wakwakoye wo asase as we be saying. We see obi reclaim na wo ye no kra won supervise. Into wo no krom for no ekroma no bi anka nkyere wo se omutu no obi tu yes obi ye how is that and no interview ma maybe one of your sister stations was it Wontumi ba ho no and na emagalam say bye na but ono no de aboa na ma ne nya adwuma ye but boys ni wura forest num through Wontumi. It is a woman you can be a political prisoner and you'll be a activist was standing for the rights of people. All need government face because government is not doing well. What I say, one also a political prisoner and now could be a sick. Yamen fasa ama. Near Chinkrofu Kugum. And also be a cassetia government near Chinakotum. Or no a political prisoner. But in your own words, was it born to me born our ye? That's why I just to I born you. Now we are born so and your courts na demra. I do not understand why NPP for do many His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I do not understand why NPP do many because the palm more can then minti so be a court and a judge.
I don't know can say would say in court for
yeah can assembly a year asema mra a court of competent jurisdiction of Ghana. Ebua no will be for. So
the president is shielding his people, right?
The point is that I don't want anybody to go to prison. It is not a good place. Meaning that. I don't want donation. Yes, I don't want anybody to go through the process. I don't want anybody.
No prison.
I'm saying that process even to take you to prison. It's the same. You are incarcerated. You are locked up. I don't want anybody to go through that. Me as I was like, to me, you should have done things properly. Share your far away cry Exim Bank the NYO. I called you $14 million loan. So they call you farming on financial. Was I called you an extra money under false pretenses, false invoices, $4 million. Is it okay? Well, how can you say that we're defending a makers and anado? Was sharing money teacher, was sharing ministers teacher, was sharing party for teacher? Because I same way you cause why I can once them. His Excellency Nanado say I contain mine and I same be anymore. At that time, no,
say on your illegal mine.
I me say I same be anymore. I say my day to no. There is a mry sister was signing even one kasa with legal concession to obese 1 year without authorization. A bonnet. Before na
right
yes first na 3 to 5 years
so it was amended on
2019 and they amended and they did 15 to 25 years why na amended and NPP before na amended what am I saying inti no se nipa no hwe won sadie bi se enkofo Anglo Gold ne Ibrahim no big mining companies. Who say illegal mining for na bomo yima. Sometimes they can even shoot them on site because over pass a man. So one permanent and free why sign it. Whether you did it legally or illegally, the law says you have assigned. What did I mean today? Ebinum koko dem mo awoma anyehwe. Kwan pepra. That day I was depressed because then I went back into time 2001 2003 when Kwame Peprao and co were convicted. Me quality grain na me I was a young person na me that make many your friend is saying Sean Latte. Yen ye register quality green. At GIPC, I used to work at GIPC. Me, I'm started bra. If you're on co-free zones board, even if it's a mini, you may be other. If you're on co-PURC, I've worked in these institutions. What am I say? My year Juma, a work with your friend is investment promotion. My year Juma utility regulation, my bear politics. In GIPC, many Ashon Latte, we were working at that time. Let us see a whole air boss. We were working on quality green. It didn't show so be a causing financial loss to the state. But they were charged and taken to prison. And that night, I dear Mekai remained Mekai any that day. You do come prepare and cool. You do me cheap. You do me coy. Me, it's Excellency Maham, Uncle to be Kwachi, Uncle Kwame Nahoy, Uncle Atua Hoy. We went with them to the prison. The next day, you call someone. Wontumi ade ya si wotia na wudwa wanu mu send the G na chiko court. Every day Wontumi goes to court. It was sparse. The day before he was convicted, mo party na mo na kontoka. There
was an irregularities so it's even day now judgment in the buy, and I think say not the no Enra was supposed to meet a steering committee.
I'm making money chairman so akwa so be in. I'm a walk cancel be perceive the no courtroom. Ni video no me share. That's why I'm going to say the drama done.
Party assemwa what say you know I don't the case. There be some you can and fuck them.
Chance say we nya assemwa. We abusuafo di wachi.
Okay, nana.
Say yeah politics ma. Me see for more case am ani see for.
Me see for pa.
Nim na wo twa wo ka 2 minutes after that 5 minutes. Asema make an twi won agenda setting maka just.
Oh, nana Jaisa.
Enti asema me person me ka kire won say.
What asema after that so person wo ka bi.
Ade munya ma de something.
What asema me person me ka.
Abna
we are with Wontumi.
Nana. They make can say walk or court how many times? And I make sure no akwa walk or no kwa na copy.
We that prison.
There is somebody na chi. At that night, we went to the police headquarters. We followed him in a car no mugum. Go to the gate.
But we've also been following him.
And George, boy, he a friend is saying, walk Udru. Or say, what would compare the animal dear. Or we are no, I didn't call you. Moody actually. And I'm more press conferences.
Omanu see a pet and I'm Duko PM Ewa Joy. Now, and a deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustapha Gbande, share. Masa. When you walk catch the ball, you say MP before, or money judge at the chairman would have a chef Yasino because national chairman non corker or handle for now. Money at a handful of money at Mustafa.
I think that for us as Christians, you don't celebrate anybody's agony or misfortune. However, we ourselves as a country have submitted our authority to laws, said that we are all governed by laws, and when the laws are seemingly working, we must embrace it, and we must be happy that justice is being done. Am I happy when Wontumi is in jail? No, I'm not happy. But I'm happy that the law is working. It also means that anyone, irrespective of which political party you are affiliated to, because basically political parties should not be used as a hub to harness lawlessness and insubordinate our laws. Political parties should be a vehicle of prosperity, a platform for nation building and growth. And that if you participate in political process, one must have serious consideration in terms of what your discretions are. I believe that Wontumi is never a political prisoner. He's just a prisoner as much as the person who have stolen a goat or the people who are in jail. It can happen to any of us. That is why we must walk being careful. And I will tell you, the NPP, that's why people feel that politics is an industry of bad people. That's not true, though, because there are good people in politics. Clearly, the NPP is behaving as people who attend funerals. You know, when we go for funerals, sometimes the witch who have killed the one you are burying is at the funeral. They are more excited for Wontumi's jail than the NDC.
Well, how can you say that?
You know, the law that jailed Wontumi, it was 3 years. They enhanced it to 15 years.
Oh, no, but that wouldn't mean that yes, they are happy to
The docket that jailed Wontumi was built by the NPP. Trust me. The docket that jailed Wontumi, the evidence that jailed him, was built by the NPP. It started when, you know, the ministers that took action against Wontumi. In July 2022, the Minister for Lands declared Wontumi's activities as illegal. I've heard the minority yesterday talk about...
well, what he said was any activity that's been engaged in by Akunta mining in the...
Nimiri forest. The forest there.
It's illegal.
Yes. So if something is illegal, it's illegal. If it is legal, it's illegal. If it's against the law, it's against the law. And for everything that breaches the law, there have to be consequences. If the punishment was 1 year, we will go in for 1 year.
You still haven't convinced me why you say the NPP. There are people in the NPP who are happy about.
Just a week before his conviction, everybody was fighting him. And you see, he hasn't been strategic in handling of himself. Because you must even demonstrate remorse when you are wrong. And like we've been saying it, if Wontumi had gone back to Samraboy as a concession owner to declare reclamation and to possibly tell the whole country that, listen, I take responsibility of the activities. One, the president, you know, passed a law that allowed people to go and mine in the forest reserves. So it wasn't his fault that he had to mine in the forest, because the presidency of President Akufo-Addo put in place a law that allowed people to mine in the forest reserves. And he happened to be one person who was given a concession to mine there. And he mined without complying with the laws. So the remorsefulness will be when the nation have expressed, you know, distaste about what you have done. You go in there and you try to do right by others. But the man says he hasn't done anything wrong. He was threatening even his own appointees, even in government when they were pointing to him that things were doing was wrong. Do we come to political parties to behave like that? That Mustapha is Deputy General Secretary. So I wake up every morning, go to any place I see opportunity, disregard everybody, do what I want because I'm a party executive?
You say people in the party are happy that he's been incarcerated, but the party has come out.
They are pretending. They are pretending. The General Secretary of the NPP is one of the people who is happy. The National Chairman of the NPP, they are all happy that Wontumi is no more. They are happy. They didn't want him to become a National Chairman. Of course, it was going to be a nuisance for the party. It was going to be a clear nuisance.
So because of his interest in the chairmanship of the party, that's why you're saying the party, the people in the party.
Strategically, Wontumi should not even have dared contesting. He shouldn't have dared because, look, political parties are such that once you put yourself out for a contest, you will have competitors. Two things come against you, either yourself or your competitors. And so when the competition becomes keen, people go as far as trying to eliminate you. Okay? So the people who are more interested, who are jubilating in their hearts for Wontumi's jail, is the NPP.
Let's come to those in the NDC.
Yeah.
Because the people who are saying, I mean, this morning we had a number of people who were calling who are suggesting that there's selective justice.
Yeah.
That we've gone after, the NDC or government has gone after Wontumi. But there are people within the NDC who have been fingered.
We're yet to hear anything. I fully will support the state agency to go after any NDC person, be it minister, be it a party executive, be it appointee, who believes that as for you, what the nation is talking against is where you make money from. What the president says don't do is what you will do. I would support any action against. And let me tell you, when we won election, today for the first time, let me say this. There was a small team put in place, myself, the National Security Coordinator, Honorable Mustapha Gbande, Dr. Edward Omanibuama, my boss Kofi Boache, Security Advisor to the President, to find a way of dealing with this galamsey, the Minister of Land, of course. I got Honorable Kofi Boa, okay, and I convinced my national chairman and general secretary. We brought into Accra regional ministers in the mining areas, regional chairmen, regional organizers, regional secretaries, regional ministers. We had a workshop where there was a clear instruction about the stance of the president on illegal mining, to the extent that any party officer that will get involved will be dealt with in accordance to law. I did that. We had a meeting like that. When we finished, the minister supported me with fuel. I taught 3 times every mining region, met the DCs, constituency executives, and the regional ministers, and reinforced the commitment and the stance of the president against illegal mining, and to the extent that if you want to mine, of course, mining won't stop. The only difference between illegal and legal is you mining in compliance with the law. Your government is in power. If you want to have a concession to mine, it won't be difficult as if your government is not in power anyway, because the leverages are there. Go and have your documents, mine properly, do reclamation, do afforestation, let the forest inspectors come there or the mining inspectors come there and see that you are doing the right thing. You don't have a problem with anybody. Why would you, out of impudence or impunity, decide that what your leaders don't like is what you want because it gives you money?
You must have told them all of that, but it's easier or more convenient to bypass the laid down structures.
Which structures are these?
The structures which you have described.
Yeah.
If you want to mine, go through the due process.
No, it's not, because let me tell you, the minister have always, Ama Kofi Boa, have indicated his readiness. So far, they have, instituted a lot of community mining. Of course, it doesn't cover everybody.
No, the point I'm making is, if you can mine, as the illegal miners would do, without having to reclaim the land, it's cheaper, which is why it is, and their due process, as you're saying, there's bureaucracy that you have to go through. But people prefer that they would avoid all of that and mine.
NDC didn't come to power to enable anybody to do illegal mining. The people who do the mining, we have some of them from the NDC side, we have some of them in the NPP side. All we have said is that let's do things right. We can still mine and do it right.
Okay, so you've told them that.
Yeah.
But we're also aware of some people whose names have come up.
Which ones are these?
So there's Joseph Yamin.
Okay, my brother.
There's Abanga Yakubu. There's Mohammed Yakubu, Oscar Forilabi, and all of those.
I don't know of the rest. Let me tell you, on the Yamin and Abanga incidents, I have encouraged that there is no investigation that is as serious as this one that should last all these years.
Yeah.
The National Executive Committee have invited the ministers involved to come and explain. The national chairman was very interested. He wants to know, because the vice chairman and the national organizer are under the party leadership. If government didn't have recourse to the party leadership wanted to know if indeed its officers have done something like that. You cannot mine in the sky. When you are engaged in illegal mining, you can only mine on land. So somebody should at least show where the mining is, show where Yamin's concession is, where he was doing the mining from.
So yes.
So you should be asking the state agencies. You should be asking them. I'm more interested in seeing the conclusion of this investigation.
But you have access to the state agency.
I've been following up. No, but when...
So what is Yoko telling you?
You are a journalist. You should be calling Remonata here and the Attorney General, asking them what has happened to that investigation. I am more interested in this than anybody else. And I've spoken about it passionately in the past.
Because at the end of the day, I mean, the conversation is that, or it seems, it comes across as though the NDC is choosing to protect its own.
No. Let me tell you. I have said many times that if you have evidence and you put out that you investigate somebody, the state is the state. Let the state prove its case. We cannot go and sleep and say that, oh, because there's no. I am more interested in this matter.
So my point is, if you are more interested, you should be able to give us some information.
There's nothing. Nothing. I'm telling you, and it's not. I don't fear it about. There's nothing. I will be shocked that anybody will produce a single evidence, single one.
So if there's no,
see, the vice time, Abanga have always been a miner. He's a miner, right from his life. He's from Sefi area. He's always been a miner. Yamin is not a miner. He doesn't have a mine. Me, you see gold around me. My spirit doesn't like gold. So me, where there is gold, I don't go close. If you have a problem and I need to help you sort out as party person, I'm more than willing to do that. And I'm helping people all over the place who have problems here and there, but I would never get engaged in mining because that's not my field. I do not have any... I've moved with Yamin, we sleep together, we dress together, we eat together. Our children are together. I've never seen him talk about money. I'll be shocked.
So if you say there's nothing, why is the Attorney General and Yoko coming out to tell us?
So you should put pressure on them. You should put pressure on them. The fact that we are not in government doesn't mean that, put pressure on them. I'm saying that the party leadership, the national chairman and general secretary, wrote to the ministers several times, more than 4 times, asking for details of this matter.
Where is the fight against Galamsey now?
We have partly succeeded because, and I'm saying this to the credit of the Minister for Lands and also my brother, the National Security Coordinator. I think he looks very calm, but he's been able to help us in many ways because we've seen Operation Vanguard, we've seen the other one, another one, what do they call them? They have other. We've seen all of these operations come and go. But currently, as we speak, the team that has been put in place, I was in Sunyani with the Lands and Natural Resources Minister to commission that team. They've been able to dismantle a lot of the river body mining and forest reserve mining. And I always say that the alluvial mining, in terms of the surface mining, is one that has to be regularized. It has to be transitional. Transitional means government itself must find a way where Minerals Commission and EPA consolidate themselves to fast-track documentation for these people. Because there are villages in Ghana where they know nothing apart from mining. The fact that they have to do mining, the state must hold them responsible and also teach them to do the right thing. And so we have succeeded. Currently, if you mine in a forest, you are just like a terrorist and you can be killed. In fact, any time the NIMOS team will have to go into a forest, they are armed to the teeth. It's an operation that is, Dr. Mani Brezed Memorial will call it, it's a surgical operation. Nobody is important than a forest. That is what the president have declared, and it is being done. The water body area, the minister have trained a lot of water guards who serve as informants. So they pick up informations on the river bodies, and then a reinforcement team then comes in to deal with that. What we haven't been able to deal with is reclamation. and the minister says it's budgetary. Once there is budget, the state will now have to, on a full scale, reclaim and repair the land. And so largely, the scale of devastation, the scale of it have come down.
It has come down, but there's still devastation happening.
It's difficult to stop it because, you see, there are villages where...
Even though there were those under the previous government, the NDC was saying that, I mean, you could stop Galamsey. If we wanted Galamsey stopped, in a day it could be done.
You see, the water bodies that you see being destroyed.
Is there a concession on the part of the NDC that they exaggerated the ability to stop Galamsey?
We didn't. You see, anybody who tells you that the Galamsey fight is easy is lying.
So the NDC was lying?
No, we were not lying. We were not lying. We look, if you want, I will travel with you, okay? You will see pits, devastation from the previous regime, and you will see what individuals try to do and they have been stopped, okay? The scale has come down because there's a force of fear that when they come in, the military come in, they will do what they have to do to stop you. So, and I'm saying that the minister himself is going around instituting small-scale cooperative mining schemes for the villagers, places where we believe that they cannot stop mining. They are regularizing the activities and ensure that it's being done. President Mahama has revoked the LI that allows people to mine in the forest reserves. In the past, before 2016, we knew there was illegal mining, but the scale wasn't high until President Akufo-Addo licensed the entrance into forest reserve to mine. It wasn't too much of a bad thing, but the system couldn't manage it because people go in there, they just mine, degrade the forest. But any mining in the forest should immediately be followed up with a plan of reclamation and reforestation. They didn't do that. Today, you cannot go into the forest reserves and mine. If you are seen mining there, you are a dead body. You cannot go into the water bodies to go and mine. Unlike before, the Chinese people bring chamfine. Nobody talks about it. Today, the EPA and the port security are all, watching people who will bring these chamfine machines. 3, they've even banned the importation of excavators into this country. You are aware?
The long and short of it is, or what you're telling me is that illegal mining isn't going to stop anytime soon.
It has to be transitioned. We have to transition it. The reality is that we have to transition it from what is illegal to illegal. Okay? What if people mine? You see, people talk about...
You're not sounding any different from what the NPP was saying when they were in power. We need to...
The NPP themselves were doing... Everybody in the Jubilee House was in mining because that's where you get cheap money. The Jubilee House of President Akufo-Addo was clearly a conveyor belt into these activities. Today, President Mahama has made it. I work at the Jubilee House, and I'm a very loud mouth. If anybody thinks that he has any evidence that I'm closer to Galamsey, you think they won't bring it out? And I've challenged that President Akufo-Addo's government was a conveyor belt. If anybody has evidence that any of us in the Jubilee House, the presidency, is into mining, let him bring it out. Okay? Let him come and talk. That is the kind of disciplined government that is being run. I'm not here to do politics. I'm being real with you that our government relatively has brought things to at least some normalcy. I'm not saying that we'll do it completely, but there is some decency, there's some direction at things. And so we can't compare us to the previous regime where ministers of state were doing mining. Pre-informed Boateng did a whole report. A whole report. How do we handle that report?
I'm sure the NPP would also disagree with you about the handling, the NDC's handling.
That's where they get their funding from, because their regional chairman, Wontumi, for the first time sat on TV and he was showing gold. Have you seen gold before? Israel. The man was showing gold from Galamsey, showing it to the whole world. Have you seen anybody in the NDC do that?
No, but the NDC too, in the past, on the back. I mean, when it became an issue, illegal mining, we have spoken, the government has spoken about, but then they felt that, okay, it was going to cost them votes. Both parties realize that when it realizes it's going to cost them votes, then they downplay it, and they allow
our government is not downplaying illegal mining.
Mustapha Gbande. Hey! Nipa who okukuseku. The program na simpacha leave comment in the comment section. No share link na for enye bi a share. Mesa di madi shamu biem enche bia possibly the next time will be with Dr. Yaa Jantuah. Bye bye.